Hey, my reactor. So we back with Woman of the Bible, and we on to Rhoda, doing her duty. Rhoda was a servant girl in the household of Mary, the mother of John Mark. It was in Mary's home that the believers gathered to pray for the release of Peter. That's right. That night, Rhoda was doing her duty. She could have been complaining about being a servant and not being able to participate in the prayer meeting. She could have been preoccupied with her own thoughts and not attending to her tasks. She could have even wandered off to her own devices. For after all, although a group was assembled, their eyes was probably closed. But Rhoda was doing her duty. She was listening for sounds beyond the door so she could warn those gathering of impending danger. The group's prayer was for Peter's safety, for he had again been taken to prison for his courageous preaching. During the prayer section, Rhoda heard a knock at the door. She recognized Peter's voice and immediately told those praying that their prayers had been answered. Those prayers did not believe her. They told her that the knocking must have been done by Peter's angels, but Rhoda never doubted that it was Peter's voice that she heard. She knew that God has heard and answered their prayers. We can follow Rhoda's example of simple, childlike faith. And in the face of other disbelief, we can stand strong and keep believing. God will answer our prayers in His own way. We must be prepared and ready to receive His answer. And now we move it on to Lydia, a model for women in business. Lydia was a fascinating woman, a successful businesswoman. She traded in dye goods. Purple cloth was her specialty, a color of fabric that few could afford. She probably had a love for texture and design, and her creative side was balanced with a good sense of business. Lydia was not only a successful and noted businesswoman, she was also a worshiper of God. On the Sabbath, Lydia was with a group of women by the bank of the river. When she heard Paul's message about Christ, she became a believer and was baptized. Lydia was also a woman of great influence. Her entire household was baptized after she opened her heart to Paul's message. She also felt compelled to invite Paul and his companions into her home. Lydia obviously impressed Paul and the others with her strong leadership. They accepted her invitation to stay with her. Lydia receives only brief recognition in the book of Acts, yet she symbolized the importance of a strong and capable woman in the church's earliest history. She was the first recorded Gentile convert in Europe, one of the first known Christian businesswomen, and one of the first believers to open her home for Christian services. She took care of her business as well as God's business. Women were converts to Christ from the start. From the beginning of church history, women publicly declared themselves followers of Jesus, even while the disciples were in hiding. It was to women that the risen Christ was first revealed. Women were the ones who searched out the men to bring them the good news of Jesus' restoration, and women like Lydia helped to support the spread of the good news. And we'll be back. Bye, my reactors.